here we go. We are episode 5.
Shoot, is that trendy?
There we go. I always struggle remembering the name of the episodes. Episode 5, we're on the road again. We're mobile. We were mobile for episode 4. Really do kind of enjoy taking the show on the road. And so tonight's episode, we are at Xtreme Shooting in DuBois with the owner, Lou Kilmeyer, who's been a buddy of mine, I don't know, for a couple of years, probably when I came in and bought a gun off you.
Yeah, we knew each other. We knew about each other way longer than before that. So
in nefarious circles.
Right. Right. Let me correct you. It's Xtreme Shooting Sports.
Oh, okay.
So
Xtreme Shooting Sports in DuBois,
go.
Pennsylvania. Okay, great. Well, I'm glad you corrected me.
You literally have the shirt on.
Yeah. Well,
That's it.
he can't read upside down.
I can barely read straight from me.
But he had to put it on at some point.
Yeah.
So
no, his wife dresses him.
Gotcha.
That's why it matches today.
that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. Speaking of accuracy.
Hey, that's a nice little segue.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, so what we want to talk about tonight is, I think hunters get a lot of really strong opinions when it comes to their weapons use, their rifles, their shotguns, the calibers, what works for them, what doesn't work for them. And I think a lot of that is born out of the, some seasons, we'll just talk about deer season. You might have dozens of hours into a deer season to get an opportunity that lasts 3 seconds. And there's a lot of things that can screw up that opportunity that are completely out of our control. But one thing that's in our control is the gear that we use working flawlessly for us, the hunter. And so it's going to be a little bit different for every person. But that's something in our control. So I think that kind of gives birth to that whole idea of hunters having really strong opinions about the calibers and rifles and things that they use. So what we want to talk about tonight, what I wanted to talk about was in the shooting industry, especially in the hunting world, there's all sorts of changes happening every year. There's fads that come, fads that go. There's calibers that show up that are, all the rave. And it seems like every few years there's a caliber like that, or there's, now there's suppressors on the market. There's just always the next big thing. Right. Well, I wanted to talk to Lou, who's kind of an expert in the field of firearms around hunting. What do, in your opinion, are the calibers that are tried and true for different, is there anything shooting and hunting related that you just go, this is stuff the guy's got to have, whether it's caliber, type of weapon, type of rifle, manufacturer, to get your opinion on the fads that are going to blow over in 2 years and the things that are going to be here to stick.
Right. Yeah. So that's a lot wrapped up into one question, especially when it comes to.
Yeah. If you find one that you want to answer, you just kind of got to interrupt Teddy.
You got to stop him.
Yeah. And be like, let's work on that one.
Because my episodes would be 8.5 hours long.
Right.
Well, let's start with what is your best sellers? What do you constantly have in stock that as soon as you get that in, somebody's going to buy it because it's a high demand in the area, I guess.
Right. So it's really not caliber specific. So it is gun and the model specific. So what I mean is the new Ruger Gen 2s are so hot. It doesn't even matter what caliber it is, but some calibers are better sellers than others.
Right.
That new American Gen 2 is a hot rifle and it's hard to get. So based on what you're using it for, you're going to
see if you had any here.
He's thinking about.
Actually, I have a Gen 2 Prairie behind the sign there. That's in the 308.
Okay. He's hiding it from me.
It is. That Prairie's pretty sweet rifle. Yeah. So
Joan actually paid him $100 to hide it for this episode. Yeah.
Probably she knows I won't.
Yeah.
Dumped it in here. So, and it depends on also who your shooters are. So, back in the rage, everybody ran 243s.
Yeah.
So
I shot my first deer with 243.
Right. So, and I think 30-30, this is why you need a fact checker. Yeah. I think the 30-30 has taken more wild game than any other caliber.
So I just read up on this just last week. So North America, the most big game has died to the 30-30 caliber.
Correct.
Yeah.
And second in that is the 30-06 caliber-wise. Now, in the last 10 years, the number one caliber to kill whitetail deer has shifted from the 30-06 to the 6.5 Creedmoor. Yeah. So why the 30-30 is still the king is because when it first came on the market, there was no competition. Every deer, every pig, every moose, every elk, every animal shot was shot 30-30 because there just wasn't anything else that was mass produced.
And let's face it, back then they weren't following the seasons all the time either.
No, there might not have even been seasons back then.
And they didn't have very many options beyond the 30-30.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Exactly.
So everything was shot with the 30-30. So they have a huge amount of, they have that entire time frame.
Let's unpack that a little bit further, though, because I think that some of that probably relates to the bullet design nowadays, where, your old 30-30, you were throwing, 180 grain pill, 200 grain pill, something like that. Now you have the 6mm's that a lot of these cartridges are being built for that bullet that's heavy for caliber. So you can run a 6mm, I'll speak to like the 7mm millimeter. That's what my 28 Nosler for out west. I'm running a 175 grain bullet in that. 10 years ago, you didn't run that. The barrel twists weren't there. They didn't make it. Those calibers in the bullet casings were designed for that heavy 4 caliber weight bullet. So you now have a smaller bullet that's doing ballistically better than what it was back in the 30-30 days.
So there's been a lot of technological advances in the ammunition.
You look back 30, 40 years, how often do you have a new caliber come back? You might have the guys in bench rest shooting. They're creating the 21 Fireball and the 6mm Dasher but it never hit Main Street. Nowadays, it's every year there's 2 or 3 new cartridges. I mean, you have all the ARCs that have come out in the last couple of years, the 22 ARC,
Normal people call it the 22 ARC.
That's because it's an abbreviation. So, okay.
Well,
the 6mm ARC.
Yeah.
And the 6mm ARC's hot. The 22 ARC's hot right now.
Right.
The 6 ARC is hot right now.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be the 22 250 killer.
Well,
Right.
and the PRCs are a fairly new family of calibers that have come out.
Yeah.
I think, right? The 7 PRC, I think, has only been around for 4
you got
years, 3
6
years.
5s, your 7s, your 300s. Those
Yeah.
are all PRCs. But with the innovations of the new bullets and the new ammo that's coming out there, they're all based off of something old.
Oh, yeah.
Like
absolutely.
the 7mm Mauser.
Yeah.
So, and then even like, and we'll get into this a little bit about what we think are flops or not. Last year, the big push was on that 7 backcountry.
Right.
Okay.
And I have had several backcountries come through here. But if you just to look at it, besides the steel casing on it, it is essentially, it looks like an old 270 round.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it performed as well as what they thought it was going to be. And I don't even have anybody asking for that backcountry anymore. So it's hitting different. And like I wanted to touch on a little bit based on the hot sellers, the 243.
Yeah.
So I will have parents come in, mom or dad are coming. They're looking for a rifle for first-time hunters.
Okay.
Yep.
The first thing they ask for is a 243.
Yep.
And so I will go through a slew of questions. What's shooting experience? What terrain are you hunting? How far are you plan on letting
Little Johnny shoot?
Yeah, little Johnny shoot. Is little Johnny going to be taking 500-yard pop shots, or is he going to be within 100 yards? I will actually not talk people out, but give them the other option. And that other option that is really taking the storm is the 350 Legend.
Okay.
That 350 is a straight wall 30-30.
Yeah.
And it's a 180 grain pill.
Yeah.
And people stretch it out. This episode's going to be everyone.
We're going to get flamed.
And listen, I know nothing. I absolutely know nothing.
Hey, you are a Teddy proclaimed expert.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That is horrible.
If you could,
So
we might print you a certificate after this.
kiss of death.
I like
It
it.
says
I like
Teddy
it.
proclaimed.
Teddy proclaimed me an expert.
Right.
so I will suggest that 350 because it has less recoil than a 243.
I've heard that. I actually
And-
know someone who bought one for his daughter,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
he said it's just a straight. It's
Yep.
it's a killer.
It's a killer, and one customer in particular purchased one for his grandson to hunt with, and they're on my phone. Grandson shot a doe, 237 yards with that 350. Ended up getting it in the neck and dropping it like a ton of bricks. And I sent him back. Oh, you're a 350 fan, because I had to talk him into it.
Yeah.
He was open to anything.
Yeah.
But that 243 is fast, it's flat, and shot placement is key.
Shot because it's not a big bullet. It's not very forgiving.
Where that 350 is just a juggernaut.
So it's funny because 6 mm is the rage. 6 mm, 6.5 mm. That's a 243. It's the same bullet.
Right.
A 243 is a 6 mm.
I didn't know that.
In the 243 case is a 308. A 243 is a neck down 308 case to 6 millimeter.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's everything is apparent. Nobody actually invented anything new. You Frankenstein
I
everything.
had heard that a lot of the calibers that we've hunted with for the last 20 and 30 years they're parented from the 30-06. Is that accurate? That a lot of your 300s are neck down 30-06s.
I want to say, was the parent case that they're all, was it a 7 Mauser or an 8 Mauser? Like literally everything's paired off.
I'm not sure on that one.
I don't know either.
I don't want to get caught by our fact checkers.
Right. And we don't have any of those.
Right.
So
your 308 is the same as a 30-06. It's just shorter.
Right.
It's the same case. But that changes how the powder burns.
Right.
And your 30-06 is not that ballistically different than a 308. Now we'll get fact checked on that, but in the grand scheme of the world, it's not a whole lot different.
Well, especially if you're looking at the average distance that people are taking white-tailed deer, especially in the state of Pennsylvania, because there's not a lot of long-range hunters in the state of Pennsylvania because
it's not long range.
There's not a lot of long range in Pennsylvania, so a lot of these calibers out within 300 yards and closer, ballistically, aren't they a lot similar?
I will. So one of my favorite podcast guys, Western hunters, other than Teddy, is Randy Newberg. He has shot a lot of elk with a 308 out to 400 yards, and I have always said it. And he's part of his podcast is the same thing. You have to be proficient with what you shoot.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of guys that they go out west, they buy a 300 rum, they buy a 300 PRC. Nothing wrong with any of those, but if you don't want to shoot it, you're not going to be proficient with it.
Right.
My first Western hunt, I bought a 30-06. I ran over 100 rounds through that thing before we went out there. I felt very comfortable out to 400 yards with it.
So you're going to be more proficient with it.
Absolutely.
If
Shot
you're scared,
placement.
If you're scared to pull that trigger, that is not the gun for you.
Nope.
Get
And
into something else.
It goes right back to what Lou was saying with a youthful hunter. You don't want to buy a gun that a youth is going to be scared of. Mm-hmm. They're not going to shoot it well. They're going to jerk the trigger.
Right.
They're going to.
It's the I'm going to get them a 308 or a 7mm for them to grow into.
Yeah.
That is not the mindset you want to go into when you're getting your child a gun, because they're going to be, because if they get tapped with the scope, there's a lot of kids. A lot of kids are going to back
with
away.
this last year. I have a youth 700 243.
Yeah.
My daughter, last year she was 13. She shot it. She shot it very well. She handled it very well. My son is 9 or was 9 last year. I said, buddy, if once you can shoot it and you're proficient with it, you're old enough, I'll take you to rifle. We'll go rifle. As of right now, we're just hunting with crossbow because he shoots it very well. And the scope bit him. First shot bit him. And he said, Dad, I'll shoot it again. That's why he said, Dad, I'll shoot it again if you want me to. And I said, no, it's okay. It's even though it was a youth frame, he's a small 9-year-old. And then that youth frame was still just so big on him. And I thought,
he was out of position.
He was out of position. Yeah. He's got some sight problems, so he's hugging that scope. And I thought, I'm trying too hard, and what he's going to end up doing is being afraid of recoil. He's going to be afraid of rifles. He's going to jerk that trigger. He's going to have more bad habits to overcome. So we said, you know what? We're going to put it off for a couple of years. We're not going to think about it. We still bow hunt. We still do all the things that he loves to do, and he's not upset by it at all, which tells me he didn't want to shoot that gun again.
Right.
Because when he said, I'll shoot it again if you want me to, and I said, that's okay, buddy, you don't have to. He was completely fine with that.
Right.
But I think a lot of people would have pushed him into doing that, and then you're going to have a lot of hurdles to overcome.
Well, you got to think. So we'll go off topic here. What did we do?
Shocker.
What did we do when we were growing up to your buddy or maybe possibly a girlfriend, and you guys were all out shooting skeet or whatever, just shooting?
Throw a slug in there.
You throw
whatever you
3-inch nitro mag into a shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
Try this, guaranteed to hit. Oh yeah, it's guaranteed to hit. All right.
So that was the stupid stuff that we did.
Yeah.
But you can't do that now, because that is the fastest way to turn a youth hunter off. That's,
Well, it is, but let's break that down a little bit more. We can't do that now because our youth hunters are starting earlier.
correct. Yep.
You know,
You're right.
we were
Yeah.
doing that to our friends while we were shooting behind Pap's house when we were 16 and 17 years old.
Right.
We're now taking kids out and introducing them to firearms, which I think is great, introducing them to firearms and hunting and this lifestyle. But we're doing it 8, 9, 10, 12 years old. They're a lot younger now than they were when we were younger. So you pull a prank like that on
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
You know,
I mean that's
a 10-year-old boy, you just ruined him for hunting.
Right.
You know, you're
And
shooting
that's-
yourself
that's-
in the foot. No pun intended.
I don't remember shooting a center fire rifle until I was 12 and going hunting.
Same.
Yeah, I was the same way.
I don't think I did. I mean, we shot a lot of 22s. We shot a lot of
44
caliber.
Magnum lever action rifle was the first rifle I shot from my grandfather.
Yeah.
Now, I will
never
say,
forget
whenever I turned 12, it was, here's your grandpa's rifle.
Yeah.
Go ahead and shoot it.
Yeah.
You can, you know,
Mine
you
was
can
the same.
withstand the kick. Well, then that's your hunt rifle.
Yeah.
And it was
mine-
a 308.
Mine was a 35 Marlin.
Oh,
I mean,
mine was
That's
an
a different-
8mm Mauser.
there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, all punishing. And yet we still shoot.
Right. Right.
I guess we got over it.
Yeah.
well, and back then they didn't, you know, the guns had metal plates on the butts and
Well,
stuff.
and that's something I wanted to touch on. We've
Things were different.
come up with a lot of things now to help manage recoil, and so I do think that is something that is here to stay, and it's something incredibly beneficial. So I have a new Western rifle. It's a 7 PRC. I love it, but it has a muzzle brake on it. I would put a suppressor on it. I plan on putting a suppressor on it in time, but the muzzle brake manages that recoil to where I'm shooting a gun that should have a lot of wallop to it, and it doesn't. It is just enjoyable to shoot. It doesn't. I mean, the recoil doesn't bother you at all. You know, but that's a serious gun. It's a serious gun with very managed recoil, and therefore I shoot it as well as I can shoot. You know, whereas if I were shooting that gun with no muzzle brake or no suppressor, and I was eating all of that 35 pounds of or whatever they say, and I think it's around 35 pounds. That's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, that's gonna hurt you.
Yeah, I'm running a ultralight Savage in a 28 Nosler, very similar to the 7 PRC, but with a suppressor, and the butt plate on it is like, I mean, it gives like an inch when you shoot. You know, it's like shoving a pillow between you and the gun.
Yeah.
It's like shooting the old 35 Marlin with with the metal plate and no muzzle brake. Yeah, there's ways to manage that also.
And I think managing recoil will help your shooting so much.
Yes.
Yeah, because you have to be able to shoot it 30 times at the range and not think anything of it.
And you have to,
I mean,
right, because then you have to have that lack of muscle memory of anticipating the shot when the moment of truth is there. And if you've just went to the range and you muscled through putting 30 rounds down range, and then when that deer or antelope or whatever's in front of you, you're going to be thinking about that in the back of your mind.
oh yeah.
You know, and you're going to be anticipating that recoil, and you don't ever want to do that.
And the, with the tax stamp going to zero, and we've seen suppressor sales go up, which we do suppressors here at Xtreme Shooting Sports. I do fingerprints and everything.
I can attest to that because I just got one.
So, where your suppressors will help manage that recoil. And for a prime example is this Savage Model 99 behind me in the 308 that I have threaded and adapted for a suppressor. I wanted a 99 suppressed. So this, without that can, that's in the 308.
There
that
goes
thing
all the
is a
purists.
thumper.
Yeah.
There go the purists off our off of
the-
our podcast.
Oh, the hate that I get.
Yeah, I hope that we get credit for them watching when they first click on it, and not that they have to watch the whole episode.
Right. Just right there. So that 99 is threaded, and I run a rugged 7.62 suppressor on that gun.
Right.
That 3.0, and those are light guns. Now, currently, I'm working through some issues with that, but just spinning that can on that gun takes a whole lot of that wallop out of that 308.
Yeah.
Because that thing's a nasty little pig anyhow.
Right.
So, but that's where that managing your recoil and having the ability, because you're going to throw a brake on it. That gun, that 7 PRC that you're running is probably so loud.
Oh, it's ignorant.
6 counties over.
Yep.
You know, and I was never going to be a suppressor guy. Like we rolled into the suppressor talk now, but I was never going to be a suppressor guy. And then we got to SOT, and then I started dealing in suppressors, and then it turned into. So what happens is, most of the stuff in this shop, if it's in this shop, I either have some type of experience with it or know a lot of people who have experience with it. So if you come into Xtreme Shooting Sports, I am no means an expert. I will learn with you. Like, I'm not a reloader, but the majority of stuff that I know about reloading is because the education that I get off the customers that come in here.
Yeah.
So, and I will get an education every day. So, and it's an amazing. It's absolutely. It's
Did I
absolutely
educate
amazing.
you, Lou? When I come in, do I educate you?
Yes, I get an education every time I see you.
Yeah.
Really, because at the end of these things, I kind of feel a little. Never mind. We're not. This is, we stay positive on the wild connection.
Right. That's right. This is the wild connection.
I am positive by the end of this, we will be having fun.
And these are tools to help you with that wild connection.
Yes.
Sold here at Xtreme Shooting Sports.
Yeah.
So that's the route we're going to go here.
And that's. And I know, we tease because the purists are, but that's what you like. You didn't ruin somebody else's gun. That's your gun, and you enjoy it more now with that suppressor on it.
I hate that gun right now.
All right.
He said he's working through some issues.
I do love that gun because how many 99s do you see that are threaded for a suppressor that are running around? Probably not many.
No.
So it's a love-hate relationship. I have shot that gun. It's doing some funky things on me. So we're going to work through them because I wanted to hunt rifle last year with that gun. It wasn't shooting like I wanted it to. So we're going to work through it. We're going to get back together on the same page, and it will do what I want it to do.
So overall, when you've shot quite a few suppressed firearms now.
Yeah.
Overall, when you screw a suppressor on the end of your gun, what do you see group size do? I mean, we talked about it earlier. Sometimes they shift, sometimes they don't. Typically, I think what we've all kind of agreed upon a little bit is that, you usually see a little bit of shift with a center fire, not so much sometimes with the rim fires, but do you usually see your group size go up, down?
So it depends. And so I've shot enough cans. I have my own cans. I've tested enough cans. It goes by which can it is, what manufacturer, what caliber it is, what gun it's on, what ammo. So there's so many variables. So I can't say I've seen them tighten up, or I've actually seen them open up. So there's just so many variables.
Let me ask you this: is there a manufacturer type of can that you would recommend people stay away from?
I mean, we're not going to be here product bashing, but for Pete's sake, I don't know every can manufacturer out there, but I can tell you who's made some cans that just based on industry, what do you want to call it?
Chitter chat.
Like, because you know who's making cans right now, or just started making cans? High Point.
Really? I did not know that.
Yes. So High Point now manufactures cans. Will I? Here at Xtreme Shooting Sports. Well,
maybe I shouldn't have asked that question.
Why don't we just move past that question?
I mean,
let me ask you a different question.
We're all sitting here because we know why I'm saying it like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It could be the best thing on the planet. I don't know.
So let me ask you this then. We'll move past that. Is there a caliber for, I would have to assume the average rifle you sell here is a deer hunting rifle.
Correct.
Okay. Is there a caliber that you would say, okay, we sell some of these and I hear from this caliber, I hear of more lost deer or unretrieved deer? Is there a caliber that you don't like seeing people buy for deer hunting?
No.
Really?
I mean, I'm really grilling here.
So this is where I'm going to go with that. No. The answer is no. I'm not going to. I will give my suggestions to the customers that come in, just based off the information that
They're
that I will.
providing. Yeah.
Yes. So that has nothing to do with somebody coming in and be like, nah, I won't ever talk. Like, if this is where we're going with it, it's the 6.5 Creedmoor.
I knew. I told
So-
you guys before this episode started.
You're really trying to bait
Teddy
him.
really wanted to go here, so
Right,
let's just go.
So this is where it's going. Okay, just so everybody knows, I am not a 6.5 Creedmoor fan.
Oh, he admitted it.
Oh wow.
I'm not. I don't own one.
He owns two.
So yeah, I own 7. I own 7.
One in pink camo.
That's right. It's my favorite one. It shoots the best. Knocks deer right off their feet. So, but that's solely based on when that 6.5 came out.
Yeah.
It's been what, 12 years now?
About that.
I bet you it's been around 12 years. I could be way off.
I'm
on
not
that
fact
number.
It's
checking
been a
it.
while.
Right. But just based off purely the experiences from the hunters that I hunted with that had that 6.5, I've seen more deer walk away from that 6.5. Again, you have a million different variables that can go into it, and why did they? Is it shot placement? Is
Yeah, right.
So it's
Right,
But I
but-
also have people who will not get anything else but a 6.5.
Right. And I know I have some friends of mine who swear by 6.5. And I'm glad that it's worked well for them. But I think if you look, it was designed as a long range rifle, correct? I mean, am I
Yes.
wrong?
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
made for long range shooting. But the vast majority of Pennsylvania hunters are not long range shooters because
No,
it's Pennsylvania.
And whenever you say long range, you're talking 500 and
500 plus
Out.
yards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and I would say the vast majority of deer are shot 300 yards and in. And so you have a rifle that ballistically is no more superior than any other 30 caliber rifle within that range, because it's not designed to be superior until you're past that 500 yard
Yeah, it's built for accuracy and wind resistance.
accuracy and wind resistance out at longer distances.
But it's
so
and it is a lighter bullet, and it is still the wind can play a very big impact on a 6.5.
yeah,
compared to
Or
some
on
other,
any. Or on any.
but compared to some bigger, long
bigger,
range,
heavier- right.
heavier bullet. That's
And I'm going to speculate here, but sometimes people who buy fad type rifles,
Right.
or calibers, I should say, not rifles, calibers, they do so because they think it's like a magic caliber. Like they don't put the time into the range. They're not, they slap a scope on, they walk out. If it hits the cardboard box that the gun came in, they're happy with it.
well, and that's a great point. You know,
The
it's
pie plate back in the day, that was the standard.
Yeah, that was the standard. The 10-inch pie plate was the standard.
and I was just with a couple buddies, and we were doing a shooting contest, right? And one of the guys actually took first place,
6.5.
6.5.
Yep.
And he's comfortable with it. He practices. I won't take anything away from him.
And that goes
that
into the
means more than
so
a
that-
caliber.
He's punching paper out at 800
But
yards.
that goes back to that recoil because the
Right.
6.5 doesn't have. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
but
yeah, there's not.
but I know other guys that were in that
Do you
competition.
know what the 6.5's parent case is?
A 308.
308.
Yeah. But I know other guys that were in that competition and they went out and bought a 6.5 because he won.
right.
That's not the answer. Like
Right.
that's
Right.
I wouldn't do
It's
But to Joe's point, if you buy that fad caliber, we'll
Right.
call it that, right? But if you buy that and think, well, it's all the rage, so I'm going to buy it, and now I got the best gun. It's like you buy a
10
race
points.
car and you think you're going to be,
Yeah, Mario Andretti.
you know, it's
still gotta be able
it's
to
not
drive it.
just the car, it's the driver too. You know,
Yeah.
So the one thing that we always touched on was that 6.5 came out. It was all the rage. That was all the rage that everybody was hoping it was going to fade away and disappear.
Right.
But
it
the
didn't.
fact is, it's
It hasn't.
staying.
Yeah.
So
there.
there's got to be something to it.
It's
Right.
become a staple.
I hate
One-
admitting
one-
that because I like making fun of it.
Right.
But
It's
Well, I
100
mean,
a staple.
it. I wouldn't say you hate that but it gives you joke potential forever.
well, that's
Since
a good way to
it's
look at
yeah,
it.
But
since
if,
it's stayed
if we
Now I
put you
can pick
behind
on
a
it for a
6.5,
long time.
if we put you behind a 6.5 and you start knocking down your antelope at 600 yards,
I'm gonna love
we're
it.
going to come back in 20 days and be like, I'm a 6.5 guy.
It's the
And
best
that's-
thing ever.
And that literally is okay. And what happened with that 6.5 is they pushed it so hard and everybody got it, and so it turned into a thing where it's like,
Everybody wants to pick
You know-
on it, but in reality, it was just marketed really well.
You know what though? That seems to me that was kind of the time. That was the turning point where we started to see a lot more mainstream cartridges in production guns. You know, what we were talking about before, back 30, 40 years ago, the Remingtons, the Winchesters, they didn't take a chance on cartridges.
Very
Somewhere
rarely.
around the time of the 6.5 when it came out, the mainstream manufacturers started to adopt those plates, and now you have partners between Hornady and Remington and Kimber and all these, Howa and all these manufacturers are running these new ARC. Now I'm going to say it just because it bothers Lou. But
Drives me nuts.
But they're now running the PRCs and the ARCs and all those things. And they're building guns that off the shelf, we can walk into Xtreme Shooting and buy one. Where 30 years ago, if you wanted one of those specialized cartridges, you had to buy a barrel, screw it on,
Right.
hire
you
a
couldn't go
gunsmith.
to a store and buy it.
Right.
Yeah.
And we talk about the new things that are coming along, because it seems like every year there's another new cartridge out. The sad part of it is they're chasing that hard hitter for longer distances with less recoil. So what I've seen, and even the past few years that the Shelly and I have owned this, is 30-06s, can't move them. 270s, can't move them. 308s falling in line. I'll get a spark once in a while on 308s, but nobody wants a 06 because it's a thumper. 270 and the 308.
But there's so
the
many
same
ways
way.
to manage recoil now. So do you think we'll see some of those harder hitting calibers come back in popularity maybe?
Well, so I had a customer of mine in here who used to work for Mossberg. And him and I got to BSing, and what he told me made sense. And this is how he thought. And actually, I thought about it. I was like, that actually does make sense. So we talked about recoil mitigation. So you're going to start seeing with the NFA and the tax stamp going to zero and whatever's going on with that NFA, you're going to start having manufacturers like a Mossberg or a Ruger or something start offering packages. A rifle and suppressor package. You can buy one that you can do Form 4 to get that rifle.
You're going to see integrated.
Yep.
Yeah.
Integrated into the barrel.
I'm all for
So
it.
Yeah.
that's how. So that's how maybe an 06 will be able to come back. A 270.
It'll be a package deal.
It'll be a package
Yeah.
deal because that's something that's going
Yeah.
to it's going to make it quieter, and it's going to take the recoil out of
gonna
that
eat
gun.
up
So
that
if that's
recoil.
the case, I
So-
think that's a way for them to come back.
When I built my elk rifle, I bought a Remington 700. It was the shorter barrel. It's the 18-inch barrel. I put a muzzle brake on the end of it. Everybody said, "Why are you putting a muzzle brake on the end of a 30-06?" Because I like to watch the bullet hit what I'm shooting.
Right.
That it jumps enough without the muzzle brake. But when I put that muzzle brake on it, I can lay into that gun, pull the trigger, and watch it smack the plate.
Yeah.
And to me, that's fun. I
Yes.
like to see what I shoot. I like reactive targets after I get it sighted in.
It makes you a more proficient hunter too.
Right,
You know,
right.
to be honest with you, your follow-up is so important, and seeing the impact and seeing how the animal reacted, especially on a big animal, and you can't always see the impact. You might miss it, right? But to be able to watch how that animal reacts, and if you're shooting an antelope, say at 450 yards, and your gun wallops you, and you hit that thing and it takes off running, by the time you
What's your-
find it in the scope again, you have no idea how it reacted to the initial shot.
Yeah, what's your
because-
follow-up shot look
Right.
like? Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, even if you can get back on target to get it,
Right.
that goes in mitigating your recoil
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
and not being afraid to stay into that gun because you're pulling a trigger and
Yep.
you're half afraid of your gun. You can't be afraid of that thing.
Are
Can't
you noticing a trend with threaded barrels now?
Yeah, it's hard to find a gun that's not threaded from the manufacturer.
That's what not being completely into it, but being a gun guy. I seem to see that also is that almost everything that's on a shelf now is threaded.
Right.
Yeah.
So I had a customer call me, and it was for a Tika. I forget what caliber it was. And this was a couple weeks ago, and it was, I want this Tika not threaded. I was like,
I heard that
heard
too.
too.
Okay. Did anybody else hear a gremlin in their headsets?
it's the ice maker.
Oh, okay.
Because we sell ice bagged and in the bucket here at Xtreme Shooting Sports.
But both Jesse and I are like,
I was like, is that my
what is
headset?
going on? All right, sorry.
So it's harder to find a gun now that's
Right.
not threaded.
Right. So you're out back with a hacksaw cutting the threads off, sanding it down. Yeah.
Recrowning it with a Dremel.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. No
Absolutely
kidding.
not. We don't do that.
That'd be
Yeah.
a terrible idea for accuracy.
Terrible. It's horrible.
But
So,
We're gonna try out a new thing coming. We do got some
what's that?
12 gauge suppressors coming.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of excited about that.
Oh, well, we are currently working on trying to find a way to suppress, talk about Mossbergs, and recoil. That 835 I have. I love shooting it.
Yeah.
I love shooting that.
Yeah.
Well, let me rephrase that. I love how that gun hunts, but it's the only gun, and I've got a pretty extensive collection. It's the only firearm I own. I don't enjoy shooting because it's that ignorant when you pull the trigger. I want to suppress it, but I want to suppress it in a way that I can still run a choke tube through it so that I can proficiently turkey hunt with it. And we're running into some hurdles finding that
I think
combination
it's-
for an 835,
Yeah,
but we'll get there.
Yeah, I think that it's something I'm waiting for that manufacturer to get back to me. So
Yeah.
I think it's something that
It's such a big
be
market.
solved.
I find it hard to believe that they're just leaving
they
that.
might have it out there. They just might not. But
Yeah. But if they don't, somebody will in time, hopefully.
yeah,
I was hoping to have it before this turkey season, but that's not going to happen. So,
we'll get
know-
just don't go out and shoot a bird on Saturday.
well, I'm taking my daughter out. So hopefully she goes out and shoots a bird on Saturday.
So that'll knock you down a few pegs. It'll give us a week or two.
given our track record, Teddy, I think there's better chance we don't shoot a bird.
There's a decent chance that my daughter and I both sleep in on Saturday morning, actually.
But I'll tell you what, if I'm out there, look out, Jake's.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
I will
oh,
shoot one right in the face.
Coming for you.
Yeah, buddy.
So I guess before we start to wrap this up, we've talked about calibers. We've talked about
Muzzle devices.
muzzle devices
Yeah.
and managing recoil. What about the style of gun? Is there a style of deer rifle that you just enjoy shooting more? I guess this is for all of us, actually.
Yeah.
When you're talking about deer rifles, is there a particular style that you enjoy more? I know that you enjoyed kind of building your own rifles from the action up, off a 700 action. So you obviously like a bolt action rifle.
I'm a big bolt action guy now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, touch a little bit more on that. You don't have, just because Teddy tells you like bolt actions doesn't mean you like bolt actions.
I'll tell you what. I mean, if you want, I'll tell you. If
Well, we've
I was-
talked about this before, and I know that you like building guns from the action
Yes.
up.
Because I would really prefer, like, if I'm just going out to shoot and plink and stuff, I really like lever actions. Like,
See, that's where I'm at.
They're
Yeah.
fun. They are fun, and I know
Yeah.
you have a lever action that it has a threaded barrel that as soon as I saw it, I'm like, Teddy, you need to suppress that. That is going to be a blast.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I saw a video of you shooting a 30-30 with a suppressor on it, which is just
It's fun.
He took the recording of
Yeah.
it. So.
Yeah, and then I shot
So-
it, and it's
So if I'm going to go
a lot
out
of
and
fun.
shoot, I do enjoy. The reason I like bolts is because I am an accuracy freak. I'm self-proclaimed. I don't like inaccurate guns. I have my first deer gun that was mine that I got my parents bought for me to hunt deer with is a 30-06 Remington 7600 pump action because that's what I wanted. That
Is
thing
that what they call the Game Master?
it used to be. It was the predecessor. The Game Master was the 760. The 7600 is the
Okay.
pump action, the newer version.
The newer version of it. Okay.
It kicks the crap out of you,
Oh yeah.
and because it's the same butt plate that's on that Savage right there. There's no padding, and the tightest group I ever got to shoot with it was a 2-inch group at 100 yards, and that is not good enough for me.
And that was fine for that gun platform.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is good for that platform.
Yeah.
So I have really embraced the lever action because that's the platform you build if you want accuracy.
The bolt action.
The bolt action. Sorry. Yes, I said that wrong.
Yeah. I knew what you
if I knew what I was doing with the editing software, I could take that out and put the right word in.
That's right.
But I'm not that good. So, I bought, kind of the first one I truly built up myself was that Remington 700. The first time I took it out elk hunting, I put a 4-16 scope on it. I pillar bedded it. I put a different. I don't like internal box magazines. I don't. So I bought a Magpul setup for it so I could have a detachable magazine, and that was kind of it. That was the extent of my building it for the first year or two I took it out, and then I went down a rabbit hole of bipods and a complete Magpul stock, and I actually bought the stuff and bedded the scope on it. Got the alignment tools for the scope. Like
Lapping
I went,
the scope. And
lapping the
everything.
scope in the whole 9 yards, and that thing you could. I gave it to Jesse, and I said, hold this dot on that 6-inch plate at 400 yards and just squeeze the trigger. And if you can do that without jerking it, it's going to hit that plate every time.
Yeah.
And and to me, that's fun. I like to hit small targets at long distances repetitively.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So I have, I enjoy blinking and just downright accuracy.
Dialing right in on long
So I think
range.
I'm going down I haven't bought a full honest chassis for a gun, but I want to build a chassis gun. And
A lot of people do it.
yeah, and my problem right now is I don't know what caliber.
Right. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So
It's not that one.
all right. So, for instance, like you're an accuracy freak, where I am essentially not quite the opposite. I like accuracy, and I need a gun to do what I want it to do, as for coming hunting. But I am not a chaser for accuracy. I'm a guy who's going to carry a gun that I'm comfortable with, who also can sling it around. I'm not looking for anything because I got some really long rifles. I can sling it around, and it's got to look cool. So so accuracy obviously comes into play there, but even the little 7.62 by 39 Rancher that I have, that's what I used for hunting last year, and that is just a cool ass little. And it's a Gen 1. It's just a cool gun, and you spin that can on it. It's just that much cooler.
Yeah.
So I think I've kind of evolved.
So so my levers, the lever that you shot, that Henry Model X, I really like that gun. Now you're shooting subs out of it, it's good for 100 yards.
Right.
It's a cool looking gun, but the problem with that gun is it's so heavy.
Right.
So there's like a million different, like if I can put them in the X ring at 100 yards, I'm consistently, I'm good.
So I've kind of evolved into what you are now, and I think I'm kind of still evolving into that. So I used to do a lot of predator hunting, and I had a Remington 700, 22 250, 26-inch bull barrel. Love the gun, screaming accurate.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't carry it in the woods anymore because
you need a wagon to carry that thing.
Yeah, the thing, I don't know how much it weighs, but it's a lot. And then with that long, heavy bull barrel on it, it's you can never keep it on your shoulder when you're walking in for a long hike into some timber daytime coyote hunting, and it's like the gun's just ignorant to carry around, So I end up just not hunting with it. So now I take out a 22 mag, Gen 1, Ruger Gen 1. The thing weighs, I don't know, it's ridiculously lightweight. It weighs nothing, Yeah. And that's what I carry around. And I know it's way under caliber for coyotes, but it's just, and now I got a suppressor on it, and it's just such a cool little gun, and it's so comfortable to carry. And then my dad gave me his Winchester 94, the old saddle style 30-30. I love that thing, and I carry it in the woods more than almost any other rifle. It's just got the old military peep sight on it, It's so lightweight. It's so fun. It's such a neat and just cool little gun. And it's lightweight just because it's so small. And I actually shot, my dad's had that gun pretty much his whole life. I mean, he was never really much of a hunter when he was younger. I harvested that gun's first deer just 3 years ago with my kids out in the woods. They weren't hunting yet, but it was their first experience going hunting with me. And, we're in this little box blind sitting up at our camp, and I said, guys, listen, do you hear that? And they said, Abby goes, Daddy, what is it? I said, it's a deer. You can hear it walking.
Or
So
it's a
she's
squirrel.
looking out the windows and she's like,
Yeah,
oh, it's
one
there.
of
She
the
goes,
big
she
squirrels.
goes, Dad, I see it. I see it, And Jack at that time, I think he was 7, he picks his head up over the window of the blind, and he finally sees a deer. She's only about 35 yards away. And Jack goes, oh, Dad, there it is. Of course it goes running away. But for whatever reason, it went running away, circled, and came right back. And so I ended up harvesting that doe with my kids. So that was really neat experience. I'm talking about a neat connection. It was my kids' first experience getting to see that, So we've got some great stories at camp now because when I'm cleaning that deer, my son and daughter were there. Of course, my daughter was like, okay, And Jack was your typical boy, he's like,
What's that piece?
Yeah. Poking it.
he goes, Dad, that looks like barbecue sauce. So now that's the big joke.
Did you give him the war paint?
No, I did not. But yeah, so that's the joke now. Whenever we go to field dress a deer, we call it going to get the barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
And it's so Shelly and I have had this for 3 years now, and one of the things that's unexpected is having the parents and their kids come in who bought the first rifle, harvested their first big game, and coming back and giving me the story of it.
Oh, I
It's
bet you
awesome.
love it.
Oh,
I bet.
it's-
That's cool.
It is
Yeah.
completely awesome just to get those stories. And so
Well, and I guess I'll touch base on where I started. So whenever I started, I had a game master.
yes, you did.
And it's a 308 pump. That's what I started with.
Where's it now?
I still have it.
Good
And I still
boy.
run it. I mean, it's my tried and true. If you're going to go through brush, it's my gun.
Yeah.
So I still use it quite a bit. But I had a lever action Savage 99. I mean, I ran that. It kicks like a mule. But, it's nice, and I still take it out some.
Yeah.
But I'm moving more towards, because Joe suckered me into the world of shooting,
Right.
long distance shooting,
Yeah.
bolt shooting.
Yeah.
So recently I bought a 6.8 Western, and then
Oh.
I also have a 300 Christensen Arms that we just picked up that we haven't actually completed the build on.
Right.
But we put a scope on it, some other stuff, but we haven't really suppressed it and shot it.
Right. Yeah,
This
well-
year we're gonna put a ton of time into that. But mostly around home, I run a 7mm. I mean, just tried and true.
I'm a terrible influence.
Yeah, I mean, I
I'm
want
like-
You and me both.
I'm like, you need to go elk hunting with me, and by the way, we need to go shopping.
Well, you need to go shopping before every hunting.
Well, and he
Well, but-
so he
but I'm
comes home with a
naive.
6.8 Western. Like I wasn't involved in that part,
yeah.
but he comes home with a 6.8 Western, and I'm like, hey, these Swarovski scopes are on sale.
Yeah, that happened instantly.
happened.
Yeah, and then
Then I bought the second gun, and I think I got the hint whenever the scope just showed up.
right. I just bought the scope.
I didn't even ask; it just showed up. And then come over, we're gonna mount this.
Yeah.
Tell you what, the guys who reload for that 6.8 love that 6.8.
I
Well,
mean,
that's why
it's
that was the only
accurate.
problem. I don't reload for that one, so it kind of
Yeah,
I get
I'm
a
gonna have
lot
to.
of guys that, like, I think it's the Barnes. They shoot one of the Barnes for that 6.8 that absolutely love it. I think it's the VLD.
So 6.8, 270.
yeah, it's a, it's a-
270.
it's
Same
270.
ballistics as
It's a-
270
it's the
short
same.
mag.
Short mag.
So
yes.
but not without the recoil.
This
Right.
explains how much of a long distance hunter I am. I won a 7 PRC Browning X Bolt.
Right.
Love the rifle.
Right.
Came in here, talked to Lou. He hooked me up with a
It was a Sig Whiskey
Sig,
4.
a Sig Whiskey 4, a Sig Sauer scope, right? Which I absolutely.
That's customer service, by the way, that he remembers that. That's
Yeah.
the kind of customer service you get at a
absolutely.
hometown
It is.
shop.
It's true.
That's right there.
And he hooked me up with that scope, and it has turrets, right?
Yeah.
This is how much of a long range hunter I am. I zeroed it at 200 yards because I figured I won't have to learn how to use my turrets.
It's good.
It's good out to 300.
Right.
And it is because I shot it out to 300. And so with
yeah.
the 200 yard zero, I'm still only like an inch and a half low at 300 yards in that gun. So
Yeah.
I thought I can shoot from 0 to 300 yards. And if it's further than 300 yards,
You don't need to be shooting.
I'm not shooting at it.
I'll just
And
sneak
that's,
up another
that's
100
just
yards.
well, that's who I am. I'd rather go on an extra couple stalks on an animal to try and get within 300 yards of it because that's just the style of hunting that I enjoy doing. So I thought if I can get a gun that can shoot from here to 300 yards and I don't have to worry about turrets, great.
So-
So that's how much of a long range hunter I am.
Now, mind you, I practice when we go out west every summer. I shoot, I don't know, anywhere between 75 and 100 times out of that 28 nozzler.
Yeah.
Or whatever gun I'm taking. Plus, I shoot my backup guns and all that stuff. So I shoot out to 400 yards. I think my furthest shot so far on an animal was like 272.
Yeah.
So, like, but I enjoy. I enjoy it.
Right.
It's the same reason I shoot my bow at 60 yards. I have no intention of ever shooting an animal at 60 yards, but I know I'm good at 30 if I can hit at 60.
Right.
And, it's funny because this year we came back from being out west. I had the 6.8 all set up, ready to go. Where I normally hunt, I had to move completely out of the woods. I'm almost sitting in my front yard trying to get a 400-yard shot because I want to shoot 400 yards at a doe.
Right. Yeah.
So if that puts, kind of in perspective of what you're going to get in PA, I mean,
Yeah.
400 and out, it's
hard
there.
It's hard,
but
you have to work to make that opportunity
Right,
be there.
right.
Well, yeah, you're hunting on strip sites. And stuff
right,
like that.
yes.
So, one of the things I enjoy doing, and I have a video here, if I can find it, I'll throw it up to Joe here to throw in there. But what we enjoy doing is a lot of quick reaction shooting. We were all in the military. Every male in my family has served in the military. And so, like, at fishing camp, we always have a big gun day up there. And then throughout the summers, we do too. And I love shooting my single action revolvers and the old lever guns and just rapid shooting and moving to target shootings, like military tactical type shooting, right? I'm not doing that while I'm out hunting. So there is that difference. Like you were saying, there's the shooting that you enjoy doing, and that's just what we enjoy doing. And then there's the shooting you do to practice for when you're out in the field. And so it is totally different. I'm not out there filling up the tube on that 94 and just racking out as many rounds at a deer as I can because I don't even know if that's legal, but I know it's not ethical. Right. So I'm not doing that, but I do enjoy doing that, shooting at pumpkins in the backyard of camp, Yeah.
Pumpkins are fun.
Pumpkins are fun to shoot at. Usually we put a little piece of, what's that stuff?
Tannerite?
Yeah.
We'll put tannerite inside a pumpkin, and then you.
What's a little piece of tannerite?
I don't.
What do you do? Mix it in another
Plastic
container?
caps? Like,
What?
What are you? I don't know that we should.
get
freeze
big
it in
chunks
ice
of-
cube trays?
I don't know. What you're,
He's got ice cream
I
trays
don't
in
know
the
that we
house.
can have this discussion in a gun shop.
Yeah, it's tannerite.
It's legal.
It's Teddy.
Teddy and his tannerite. Episode 7. Teddy and his tannerite.
It's just gonna be a whole episode of Teddy.
he really likes it.
Blowing stuff up.
Bang.
1.5 thumbs up.
But safety first, I'm usually wearing a Star Wars helmet.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because that's safe.
Well,
It won't shrapnel.
he can deny he saw it happen. So I mean,
I didn't see anything.
That's something.
I didn't see anything, officer. Not necessarily what you want to say at the range.
It's a rage.
I
Yeah.
have not seen anything.
I have not seen it at all.
Wasn't me.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lou, any kind of finishing remarks about anything that you would really urge people to look into or to kind of say,
Yeah, and Joe had touched on it just a little bit earlier. So the one thing I want to do is, and it's on the back of your shirt, and it's on the shirts that I have here, is supporting your local gun shop. So I know for a fact that it is super easy to shop for guns online.
yeah,
You can push a button and have it delivered to your local FFL or whatever that's on file. That's well and dandy, but and we're already seeing this with gun shops, just not locally, but nationally. Is when you push that button online and buy that gun, you're gonna have an FFL to send that gun to do your background check, your 4473s. It's just as easy to pick up the phone next day or whatever, call your guy at your gun shop and see if he can get that firearm.
right.
Some chances he might be able to get it cheaper.
You might have it here.
And might have it here. But the big push is support your local gun shops, because even if that gun shop can't get that firearm that you want for the price that you're looking for, you're still going to need a place for it to go.
So give them a chance.
If those gun shops close up, you're not going to have
You're not going to have those FFLs to ship to. You know, and I'll say a quick story here. So, and I've mentioned before in other episodes, you know, I am a budding waterfowl hunter. I love doing it. I'm just not very good at it. But I had a very particular waterfowl gun that I really wanted. I had a little bit of extra scratch in my account, and I had gone through a couple different duck guns and had learned going through those guns what I wanted, right? And there's a brand that I really enjoy shooting, and nobody ever has it in stock. I wanted a Browning Maxxis 2 Wicked Wing Edition, which has like a Cerakote camouflaged embedded Cerakote design. It's a beautiful gun.
Muddy girl.
Yeah. And yeah, Muddy Girl. Yeah, it's pink. No. And I told Lou what I wanted, and he didn't have it here because nobody has that gun in stock. Nobody has that gun in stock. But I mean, how long was it, Luke? 2 weeks? I mean, you had it here for me quick. It was quick, you know, and he worked with me on my budget with what I was able to get him. I think I got you half down to get it ordered, you know, and then half when it came in, and waited on a couple days for me. A payday had to hit or whatever it was.
And we worked on some trades.
I had some other guns that I just didn't shoot anymore that we brought in. So to that point, go talk to your local gun dealers because they're the guys and girls that are really going to work with you. You know, if they're worth their weight, you know, they're going to work with you and they're going to say, hey, you know, you're on a blue collar budget. I get that. So am I. Let's find the gun that you want in a manner that's going to work for you.
Well, and even one step further than that, make sure you come in and just buy ammo.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because more and more I'm seeing bigger box stores selling ammo.
Right.
And, you know, that takes away, that's somewhat the bread and butter of a gun shop.
Right.
That's
right.
It is.
You know.
And at those big box stores, you're not going to find, I mean, Lou's got, I don't know what that is, just off the top of my head, 30 linear feet of ammunition here, you know? I mean, you're not going to find that anywhere else other than a local gun store.
And I specialize a little bit in the higher end. So 22 shoots in this area, a lot. You can, during the wintertime, you can shoot 5 days a week.
Well, the Planker Leagues.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I used to do one out at Hormtown.
So I carry a lot of the higher end ammo, like your Lapuas, your Center X's, your SKs, and all that stuff. So as far as I know, I'm probably the only one technically within, I don't even know, 40, 50 miles. I have people call me from Michigan because they find out that I have some of this ammo. So the SK stuff, and it's a full-time job trying to find that ammo.
I believe it.
And so those guys will come in and they'll travel to come to me when they figure out that I have it.
I believe it.
So,
and I think a lot of local gun stores are each going to have their niche. They're going to have those things that they're good at tracking down, like high-end ammunition here at Xtreme Shooting.
And I have a lot of customers that are into a certain type of firearm way more than I am. They'll come in. I'll get half my education from the customers that come through the door. I mean, it's just that it's that simple because I can't keep up with everything, you know? So, but I don't know. Let's learn together. We'll figure it out together, or I'll just, you know, I will get on all my suppliers, like for your gun, for instance. Sometimes I will luck out. I'll have a customer that goes to another gun shop and they just don't have it, and I will luck out. If I don't have it here, I can find it because I do use so many suppliers. So, but like I said, you know, you got to get in your local gun shop, support those guys. It doesn't have to be me. I'm just saying, support your local gun shops because
But it should.
Right. So, and just remember here at Xtreme Shooting Sports,
I love what he does.
we also can do your fingerprints in house and submit for your Form 4s for your.
You know, again, I'll say that I just bought my first suppressor. It came in, what was that, 2 weeks ago, whatever. I bought it from Lou. That was seamless.
Yeah, we tried to make it.
It was easy. You know, I came in. He told me what form I had to fill out. I filled it out. He did my fingerprint. I waited. The email came as I got the email that I had passed. I'm reading the email, and as I'm trying to read it, a text alert comes up on my phone. Lou Kilmeyer, you passed. Come down. Okay, great. You know, it's that quick. You know,
Love it.
Yeah. So, anything else? Any other final remarks?
No, man, it was fun. Thanks for inviting me on. It's always nice to hang out. Teddy is going to talk me into do some waterfowl hunting this year. So.
Uh-oh.
And we're going to talk him into carrying some Twisted Antler Seed Company seed, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Soon.
We'll do
Soon
a
you'll
whole-
be able to come here and buy food plot seed, too.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks
Luke,
for saying goodbye.
thank you.
Thanks for
And,
having
and
us.
as always, again, if you've got a story, a wow connection, anything that you think would fit with what we do here at the show, reach out to us on the email.
info@thewildconnection.com.
And let us know. We'd love to have you on the show and love to feature some other people other than just us.
And we'll also put Lou's information up on the screen in case anybody wants to reach out to him. Or
He's promising all kinds of stuff. He's never edited any of these.
it might be there. I don't know.
Here's some
If
shameless,
it's not, go to Google.
shameless advertising in the banner
Right?
behind us.
If it's not there, Joe messed up. Go to Google. Type in Xtreme Shooting.
He's got a banner
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right there.
with a chicken right in the middle of it.
That's right.
All right. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.